Hello and welcome back to the last game today of the qualifiers for the quarter-final of the online chess Olympiad. The first time this has ever happened. It started with about 150 players and now it's going less and less. So you can see I've even got a little green halo going on. That's how angelic I am. But I'm not as angelic as my co-host, Jovanka Houska. So hello, Jovanka.
Hello, Simon. It's good to be back for our final game in the preliminaries. It's a difficult word to say.
It is. It's going to be very exciting. So the preliminaries is now on, and we have this last match of the day, which is going to be one of the closest, Jovanka, I feel.
I definitely feel that. There's a matchup between Poland and Bulgaria. If I were to say which team is the slight favourite, I would say Poland. Because, of course, Poland have some very strong top players. Duda did amazingly in the top division last weekend. But the Bulgarian women are very strong and, of course, have many strong players. So difficult one to call out.
It is. I mean, I'm probably going to pick Poland slightly as well against Bulgaria. They got some incredibly strong players. But this is going to be close. And it is. There's a lot to play for here because, who gets into the quarterfinal tomorrow. We've had some really exciting clashes already today. Been some amazing clashes. There's been 2 Armageddon games to decide which of the countries have gone through. And the last one, okay, Armenia maybe dominated Greece a little bit, but I'm sure there's going to be much more action in this one. Yeah. So, maybe the games are getting ready soon, yeah?
Yeah, let's dive in and have a look.
Okay, let me just get the games up and hopefully I will find the link to that very soon.
Yeah, but it's been an exciting day, Simon. I mean, who would have thought that China would get knocked out in an Armageddon game? And then we have that drama between Hungary and Germany where the winners got through. Hungary got through because on 0.03 of a second. It was unbelievable. Absolutely astounding.
I think that's one of the closest finishes I've ever seen. And if you missed that one, you should really look at it again. I'm sure it's posted up on some Twitter things and stuff like that. But it was pretty amazing, yeah? Pretty amazing finish.
Pretty outstanding. And of course, the Armageddons are decided by one game. So it's absolutely brilliant. And I really love that analogy that Levon came up with, where he said chess is kind of special because you're required to run a marathon and a sprint at the same time, which is just brilliant. There aren't too many sports where that's been required.
Okay, so we are just going to get the games ready, and I'm just going to have to very shortly take a break. You can see some of the games here. So we'll only be gone for 30 seconds, and we'll literally be back in 30 seconds to 1 minute. I've got to, I can't be doing this angelic halo. I just need to touch myself, shall I say touch the halo up? Be careful what I say there. So we'll be back very soon. Okay. Okay, so we're back again, and at least I've blended in the green to the forest, so you can't even see it, can you, people? Of course you can't. So the chess, onto the games that are going on, and one guy who I think Poland are going to be relying on to score very heavily is going to be Duda. Duda is extremely talented player. He's just got an invite because Giri pulled out to this big Norway chess festival. He could be like top 10 at some point in the future, no doubt about it. So he's going to be one guy I think Poland are going to rely on a little bit. And what do we think of the position here, Jovanka, that he's got? So he's got the black pieces against Alex Delchev. he outrates Delchev by a long way. But Delchev is a very, very experienced grandmaster.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very experienced, and I don't think he'll be faced. The position looks quite level to me. In fact, if I were to prefer someone, I probably would prefer white, just because, the rook and the bishop just coordinate that a little bit nicer. And of course, white does have the potential to create an outside pass pawn. However, the timing does worry me. White has only got 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 25 seconds to Duda's 7 minutes. It's difficult to play a confident opponent.
Yeah, I mean, the bishop is very good, isn't it? Because it does tie down the knight. The knight can't really get into the game. One thing I like about these positions, looking at many of Keith Arkar's games, is the 4 pawns versus the 3. And I think we've got to take into account which of the pawns are more mobile. And it feels like black can start maybe pushing them forwards and maybe get the knight back round to somewhere like d6. On the other hand, white does have the b4 move at the right moment to create a pass pawn. It's probably pretty even. It should be a draw, I feel, with best play.
I do feel it should be quite a comfortable draw, but then at the same time, I mean, I would prefer the bishop over the knight, just because, of this outside pass pawn. And I do think that it's much easier for white to create that pass pawn than it is for black. I mean, the pawns are mobile, but okay, we'll see. I mean, if I were black, I would be tempted to go rook takes rook.
I might even take black here. I mean, I don't know why. I suppose I just like somehow these pawns. But yeah, okay, I understand that white might be better. The bishop is very useful in b4.
Yeah, b4 is coming, so there's always that possibility. But I think it's quite level. Shall we go? Shall we move down?
Sure, let's do it. So now we have Wojciech, Radoslav Wojciech, who is, well, he's been Poland #1 for a long time now. Duda's kind of catched up with him, but he's, again, really experienced grandmaster who has this kind of positional grind style. And I think these two guys, Duda and Wojciech, they're going to cause a lot of problems for the Bulgarians. So this position, again, we can look at the pawn structure. This pawn is quite weak, isolated pawn. We talked about that earlier on today. Can't be defended by another pawn. On the other hand, when you're playing against isolated pawn, it's normally a good idea to have a rook to attack it. Saying that, white certainly a little bit better here, Jovanka. This is much clearer than the last game.
Yeah, it's a nicer position for white. That's absolutely 100%. So yeah, I mean, I expect Wojciech to push a little bit and see how black gets on. Definitely. Shall we check out
Stefanova? Yep. And this is Antonetta versus Monica Socko. Both proper grandmasters and both very experienced players, Jovanka. Yeah, they've been playing at high level for loads of time, haven't they?
They're older than us, Simon. So yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Wow, there's actually people older than us. Really?
But I have to say, I mean, I think that Stefanova is just winning. She's material up. And Monica's, I don't quite like Monica's minor pieces. I mean, she's exchange up, and this knight on h6 doesn't really make it pleasant.
And Antonetta Stefanova, she has been women's world champion before, hasn't she? She's really, really good, experienced player. And I think you're right. This is looking good for Bulgaria with this. This is quite a nice pawn structure. Lovely. And it's also nice, as you say, to have the extra rook. I didn't even realize white had the extra exchange, and I still like white's position.
Exactly.
So it's got to be good.
It is good. So and she's very resourceful, and she's a very calm player. I mean, she's very confident. So I think these are all things that I think are in her favor. So should we go down to Karina Sivka against Salimova? So Sivka is actually Polish women's champion.
Right.
But here, I think she is struggling with the white pieces against Salimova.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, isn't there, on this bishop on d3, and black is already a pawn up as well. But there's a lot of pressure going on here, loads. It's very uncomfortable to get out of this. And maybe even black can sort of centralize with the queen at some situation, or just play like rook c1. So black is in the driver's seat. The only thing I would say, again, we have to think about the time situation. They are getting a bit of time each move, but 1 minute it starts to make you a little bit nervous when you've only got 1 minute on the clock. Black's gone for the check, maybe pushing the king into a worse square where it's more likely to be hit also by back rank ideas. For example, just simply rook c1 should be very good for black.
Rook c1 looks good for white. I mean, the great thing is that, yes, that black is low on time, but you can make moves like, I don't know, like b6 and then just slowly build with a6, b5, a5. It doesn't, you know, cost you too much energy to find those kind of moves. And
it doesn't. So okay, 2 more games as well. And should we go to another one? And this one is Martin Petrov versus Simon Guimaraes. And this is quite an interesting position with white's knights doing a little bit of boogieing over there on the king side. They're sort of trying to get into black's position. Black's bishop does not look very impressive now, but if that bishop suddenly...
Yeah, but it's gonna, I was going to say, it's going to reroute itself to b8, and those knights don't have any posts. That's what worries me.
They can't. Well, I mean, I suppose you could put the knight on f4. That seems like... And then, I mean, ideally, I might want to go knight f4, knight g6, knight e5.
Yeah.
But you're right. When the bishop gets on this diagonal, this diagonal is a very juicy one, isn't it? Because white's put the pawns on light squares, making the dark squares weaker. So it shouldn't be a problem, this position.
And
for
there's
black
even sacrifice ideas like rook takes f3.
Oh, nice.
That
I like it.
In the air right now.
Yes, that's a nice idea. Yeah, rook takes f3. Can we do this now? I guess it's not quite working, but let's have a look. So black can try this with the idea of taking on h3. It's scary. It certainly looks a bit scary to me. Yet, do you have to go knight f4 now?
Yeah, I think you probably do.
But hang on a minute. We do have
hang on.
something.
There's some bishop takes.
Yeah, or something on d5.
Oh yeah, something is happening. Bishop takes d4. So yeah, I mean.
How do you defend that pawn?
You don't need to play like this. Maybe you can just improve the placing of your pieces, and so that when rook takes f3 comes, then it's very natural and very good.
Okay, so rook takes f3 has been played though.
Oh, has been played.
I think it'd be very hard to resist playing such a move when you're threatening to get your queen in. I mean, I'm really sure white cannot allow this to occur. So the only move is knight to f4.
Yeah, but this allows bishop takes or knight takes takes d4.
Now rook g2, and it's is there
some kind of is there a tactic here?
I would not be surprised.
Like I'm thinking there's rook takes h3, check.
Yeah, this
then
is
knight
crushing.
takes, and knight f3, and then knight takes e1, and then
look at these forks, Jovanka. One
I
fork,
know.
boom, and then 2 forks, boom, all day. And look at the time. So this could be the first win for Poland. This looks good. Oh, I say the first win.
They will need it. They will need it because they're struggling on the female boards.
Okay. By the way, there is another result. It does look like, yeah, okay, Poland's going to go up, but there's been, okay, this has occurred, and it has occurred, and yeah, okay, black is winning. But there's another result here, and this was this.
Oh, okay, so
was
this was the relatively
Bratislava.
level game. Okay, so Wojciech has won this in game.
Did you say this one we have some trouble for Poland in this game?
It does look like it. It does look like Poland are struggling in the women boards.
Yeah. This is the only game we haven't looked at so far, with white's pawn on e5 being incredibly weak here. You're sort of not defending it by any pawns. You're defending it with your king. You don't really want to be defending a pawn with your king when there's so many pieces on the board. And now
and of course that looks
black
amazing.
is going active.
Great. Does it win a piece? I mean, after pawn takes pawn, knight takes. It's okay, so there was no e5 checks. Okay.
This king is so exposed here.
I know.
It doesn't look
brave.
good. Yeah. And also, if you just look at white's pieces, Jovanka, they're really just huddling around doing nothing. I mean, look at all this pile of rubbish here. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're like huddling together.
Rubbish.
They're disgusting pieces. And look, white is trying to get them to do something, but this is really bad. This is really bad. So this is going to be a win for Bulgaria, unless something.
It certainly looks that way. So it looks like Bulgaria is en route to winning 3 games, and Poland very much in the lead at the minute with 1 victory by Wojciech. So
Okay, well, that one has ended in another victory. So it's
okay,
now
so there are
2 victories for Poland.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with board 1 again. This ending with Duda, where you're enjoying the bishop here, Jovanka, but it probably should always be a draw. I quite like the light knight sometimes in these endings. It feels a bit weird, but as long as you can sort of keep things quite compact, which black is doing, and try to move forward slowly, often the knight can be good. But of course, there's nothing serious going on here. It looks like it should be a draw, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, but I think Duda will try. And what worries me again, I mean, I keep going on about it, but it's so true in this time control, is this time. You know, Delchev has 24 seconds and it's ticking down. It's very difficult to make a good logical decision when
and also look at this knight. This knight is sort of, you know, it's been a bit annoying.
Yeah.
At least. White's got the b4 move in, but it's hard to sort of get a good pass pawn, because if you take it and try to say, oh, I've got a pass c pawn, that's not a very dangerous pawn.
No, I mean, I would try to use that. The thing is, though, this knight on f4 doesn't really have a great future. I mean, it looks impressive on f4, but I don't see where it's going to do any damage. So because knight d5, I'm just thinking, well, maybe I'll take that off. Knight d5 check. And then we'll go into this pawn ending.
This must be what he's calculating now. He must be wondering what this king and pawn ending is like. Okay, he's decided it's not good, so he's just slipping that one back. I think if black wants to make progress, he's going to have to try to play e5 at some moment, you know, get this push in. Otherwise, I don't see how. The
problem is that then if you step back with the king, then perhaps I can play f4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Then I'll go e5 though.
Yeah.
So let's say I go king d6. And the idea is I want to at least use my majority of 2 pawns versus 1. And because of the time thing, Duda's maybe thinking, okay, my opponent hasn't got much time. Let's play for the win in a position that might well be drawn. But black's piece is coordinating nicely here, I feel. There's something about them which is a bit annoying for white.
Yeah, but I think it's easy to handle. Well, in a normal game, it would be easy to handle. With 20 seconds on the clock, I'm not quite sure it's that simple. There's tricks. Knight's always crafty.
So the knight's come to e7, and he might be trying another idea, which is to force that pawn to make a decision. f4 check, king d6, and now white has got king d4.
About removing the tension with b takes a5.
I think he probably didn't he in some ways have to, because knight c6 is coming anyway, and that's going to threaten to win the pawn on b4. So you have to do something with that pawn. You can't really push on.
No, that's true. That's true.
So maybe he was forced to go into this. And after king d4, Duda now getting shorter time. It's the knight's come back. Still probably equal. It still probably should be a draw. He's defending this pawn. Maybe in order to do this, he's not really making much progress. Should be a draw still, but the time situation.
Yes. And what about the Stefanovic game and?
Well, that has just been over. So it's 2-1 now. 2 to Poland, 1 to Bulgaria. And this could be another victory for Bulgaria here. So it's actually a very close match, this one. We always thought it was going to be. A bit of work to win this one if the queens come off at all, because of the opposite kind of bishops.
Yeah, but we can just simply push this queenside pawn, right? Yeah,
this is the way to do it. Keep the queens on, the white king's weak. So looking good. And we know on the bottom board, I think Bulgaria is winning as well, yeah? This board here, Bulgaria is going to win. So actually, Duda needs to win to make it a draw. He has to win.
What I like about this format is that every board matters. You know, you can't just depend on the first board or the superstar. You know, you also have to think about your under 20 girl or your women players. And that's a great thing.
It's true. Yeah. So the key game, this one, obviously black's a piece up, not really much to look at here. We do have an hour result here where black's won. So the key game is Duda's game. And Duda's now in a position, he probably realizes that, okay, this position should be a draw, but the only way I'm going to save my team, it doesn't matter on game points, it's on the result of the match. He needs to win this game to give Poland the draw, which would be a very important result. Can he do it? Can he possibly get a win here?
It's difficult, isn't it?
I mean, now you can sort of try these ideas.
Yeah, but if I'm ready to meet your knight f2 with a bishop f1, you kind of... And if you overextend with the knight, again, white does have a passed pawn on c4 and is able to go c4, c5, and suddenly white is the one that might win.
It certainly should be a draw. It certainly should be a draw. It's just a match situation you have to try on.
I mean, I
play on. Yeah.
I'm not sure it's possible.
He hasn't made any progress since we last looked.
For instance, I went bishop d3. Oh, he wants to go knight knight h5. Okay, so this is his plan.
But after you go knight h5, king e3.
Yeah, then you step forward with the king.
Okay, which he's doing.
Which is progress.
You've got to maybe try to now force the king back again. So knight f6.
Now knight f6, and now
Bishop
now I
a2
think
is the idea.
A serious improvement, because I think it was wrong to step back with the king.
So bishop a2, and you have to try and stop this one.
Yeah.
I don't see how black's making progress yet, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't seem like much has changed to me.
Yeah, king goes to e3. Is there?
Okay, this is his last try, but the more pawns that get exchanged, the nearer to a draw you get. It's slightly better for black, but there's so little material, Jovanka. It must be a draw now. Here, okay, well,
Okay, well, now we have a race. Knight takes h3.
Okay. It's a bit risky giving up all these pawns for white.
Yeah, king goes to
d6.
But then you have bishop b. Is bishop b1 the idea?
I think this is still a draw because of the little material. Probably bishop b1, yeah? That's the way to go. But then
bishop b1, you have f4.
And then king to f3. Gone this way.
Oh, wow. This one, I think it's a little bit... f4, check.
Yeah, or try to get this knight out of the way so you can use the pawn. He's gone f4. I'm not sure about that. Maybe he should have got ready to push that one. But look at the time. The time, 2 seconds.
1. He has to make a move. He's going to lose on time.
He hasn't lost on time. He's lost on time.
He's lost on time, so it's a draw.
Wow. Where's the camera? Do we have a... Oh, I'd love to see it. What happened to him there? I mean, it's so...
Oh, you can see Duda's face. He kind of like the relief. Oof.
What happened there? That's amazing. Because maybe the point is, if you go king here, he was trying to work out that there's this check, and now you can take the pawn on d5.
You can take, that's because after c7, you've got knight e6 check.
Yeah. So maybe that's what Delchev saw. But that's a massive... I mean, okay, you just play a move anyway. You've got to keep an eye on your clock. You're getting 5 seconds a move, losing on time, So there's still one game going on, though. Is this game still going on? So actually, Poland can still win, but I mean, if you can't win this position, it's looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's an understatement.
Yeah.
But that's still weird to lose on time, Jovanka, don't you think? I mean, have you ever lost on time?
Yes, I lost on time against Croatia. I don't know what happened. Suddenly it just said white won, and I was like, okay. I think there was a thunderstorm that day, so I think there was maybe some lag. But,
have you ever
that you lose on time in a normal position? Because usually you do it when you're completely lost and you just can't find a move anywhere. But I actually have one on time when my opponent just froze. And she just forgot to make a move, and I was just looking at her, just going, "Move, just move," and she didn't.
Have you ever lost on time in a tournament though, rather than on the internet? Have you lost over the board? Should I say? It's one of the worst feelings.
But it's kind of more like the more dignified way of losing a lost position.
It's a draw.
It's a draw.
No. Poland win. What the hell? Some perpetual. I think she fell into perpetual check. Oh, my words. Unbelievable.
So this means Poland wins.
Poland's just won because of this game. You repeat
So
something, you
first of all,
draw.
oh, this is a case of lady luck here. So first of all, they win a game because someone loses on time, and now just a threefold repetition.
I mean, hang on a minute. What happened? This has happened to me before, where you're a piece up or something like this, and you think, okay, I'll just take my time, and all of a sudden, let's see what happened. I think Black accidentally fell into a threefold repetition. Black did not mean to, but Black is playing around here, and all of a sudden, White claims a draw off this one, meaning the position has been repeated, and Black's been very, very. Oh, that was a really big mistake.
I mean,
Obviously.
yeah, it's incredible actually, because
Oh dear. I mean, all you do to win this one, for example, rook h4,
exactly,
defend that pawn, take
rook
the pawn
h5,
to g5.
Bob's your uncle, done. Yeah, I mean,
Any move, any move.
I don't think they were thinking about the threefold repetition. And the best thing is that actually you don't claim it. The little box pops up for you, and it goes, the position has been repeated 3 times.
I know. So you don't even have to know. That's unbelievable.
No.
I mean, the other thing is, it looks like in this position, knight h4 is the second worst move on the board. There's only one move that's worse than knight to h4.
Rook c7.
Rook c7 is the only other move that's worse. And this is
and
still a draw.
even then, it's probably still a draw.
It's definitely a draw still, even here. So knight to h4 check is like the equal worst move on the board. Just play anything else. Okay, maybe rook f4 is not so clever either, or rook e4. I've spotted a couple more now. Oh, do you reckon the Bulgarian captain is happy with that result?
No, I mean, it's a bit mystifying actually, because it just looked like Bulgaria were going to win that match, and then just easily, really easily. I really thought Dalchev was going to hold the draw, and 3 easy wins.
Is there any way, Jovanka? I think it was free fall, but is there any way I've heard of this happen before in an internet tournament when they did the Pro Chess League, chess.com, a great event online. I hope they bring it back. That there was a team and he read the scores wrong. So he was a piece up and an ending, but he thought he just needed a draw for the team to go through. And he read the result wrong. So he agreed a draw like a piece up, thinking, okay, that puts us through. And agreeing a draw actually put his team out of the competition. So he just read the result wrong. He thought that they were up and they were struggling. And it's like, what the hell? He's literally a piece up, agreed a draw, the team's out.
Did that happen in this tournament?
Not in this tournament, another online tournament, which chess.com used to run. Just misreading the score. I mean, is there any way that could have happened here? Because it's a little bit hard to see what your team's up to. I mean, can the captain tell you your score? I don't know. Probably not.
No. I think for sure she was just making random moves, and it just wasn't in her mindset that she could be repeating the position 3 times.
Wow.
And because it came about via different ways. The knight came to g7, then it came to h4, and then the whole key is that they're repeating this position with a knight on f5.
Yeah. This is kind of what happened. Another thing that happened to me, I didn't understand the threefold repetition, Jovanka, and I had it in a tournament when I was about 17, and I thought it had to be in a row. So if you had the same position in a row, you go backwards and forwards. So literally you'd have to go knight here, knight here. I didn't realize if you had the same position, doesn't matter at any stage during the game, it's a draw. So my opponent claimed a draw, and I was like, do you not know the rules? And I was thinking, and I thought, yeah, go and claim the draw, not a problem. I'll just sit here thinking about the position. And I was the one who ended up looking a bit stupid there, Jovanka, when I didn't know the rules. No, dear. Anyway.
Yeah, we all make mistakes like that. I mean, you do have to claim the draw correctly, though. You can't make your move. You have to kind of say, you have to announce to the opponent, you stop the clocks and you say, hey, I'm going to play knight f5, and I do believe we have repeated the position 3 times. Yeah. And only then can you claim it. I mean, it's just...
it's a little weird. Easier on the internet.
Much easier when the computer does it for you.
Yes. Automatically.
You repeated it 3 times. I didn't realize that.
So dramatic round there. Bulgaria are going to be kicking themselves there. They're going to be absolutely disgusted the way, not this one result, these are all little mistakes, but just a couple of them losing on time, this one. Poland, quite a fortunate win. Bulgaria needs to bounce back in the next round. So that one will be coming up, I think, reasonably shortly. Just get some idea about when. But yeah, surprise. But
that was really surprising. I mean, I can't get over. First, I mean, I think it's the first time we've seen someone lose on time in the preliminaries, and the first time we've seen a threefold repetition like this when one person is clearly winning.
Yeah.
So
strange.
Very
strange.
Very, very unfortunate. But that's the name of the game, isn't it? So
it is. Yeah. Maybe we can have a look at the end of this game just to see how black won. And as you said, Jovanka, it's just a matter of basically queening one of these guys. You've got 2 pawns versus 1. And I think this happened with king h3, a4, white trying to swap the queens off, giving some drawing chances, but queen e3, and now b3.
And the key is that it's the a pawn that you want to promote, because if you look at the queening square, it's dark. It's a1. It's the same color as this bishop you have on d4. So it would actually be a mistake after a takes, say, bishop takes queen, a takes b3 to go a takes b3, because then the queening square is on a light color.
Yeah, at this stage, one of these pawns is coming through, isn't
right.
it?
I mean, it sounds really basic, but it's often quite important just to think about the color of the queening squares and what color pieces you have.
Okay. All right, so we are going to take a quick break. I'm just getting information when the next round starts, and it's in 6 minutes or so. So Bulgaria must bounce back, otherwise Poland will go through, and they go into the quarterfinals tomorrow. This is what is at stake in the quarterfinals. It's against Azerbaijan, a very strong chess nation, for the winner of this one. So we'll wait and see. But we'll be back very shortly. See you again in no time at all. Okay, we're back with the last match of the day. There could be an Armageddon, and it's Poland who took the lead in the first of two encounter. And now Bulgaria must win to force an Armageddon. Before we go on to the games, this is what's happening in the tournaments. And what I mean by that is you have the nations that have qualified. Many nations gone through today. Armenia, Hungary, and probably the surprise, Ukraine beating China. Who's going to qualify to play Azerbaijan? I don't know. Who knows? We're going to see. It has to be Poland who are favourites at the moment. Jovanka, who do you think out of the teams here who do you think is going to win the whole thing? Who's going to take the Olympiad home with them?
Well, okay. It's a difficult one to say, actually. I mean, for me personally, it has to be between USA, Russia, and India. I mean, they are strong at all levels. Like you have a lot of teams like Hungary, Armenia, who are very strong throughout, but I would say they're not as strong as the other teams. Like, I mean, USA, for instance, have very strong female players and also very strong juniors, as well as Fabiano Caruana and Hikaru Nakamura. So, I mean, and again, the same with India. India have Hampi Kanaru and Harika Dronavali and some very amazing youngsters like Pragananda. So it's those little things that I think make the difference.
Certainly, and it'd be interesting to hear people's thoughts on this in the chat on Twitch. So do let us know who you think is going to win the online Olympiad, the FIDE online Olympiad.
Yeah.
Now, if Bulgaria managed to win this leg, which is very possible, we're going to go to an Armageddon again, aren't we? We've had two of these. So
third one of the day. Yeah, I mean, the Armageddons are hugely exciting, and it's just one game that's played. One player will have 5 minutes and another player will have 4 minutes. That's black pieces, and they will have draw odds. But the funny thing is how these players are chosen is just entirely by lots, and it's done by categories, almost like, so maybe the junior under 20 or maybe the junior girl under 20 is chosen. So, and I like that. I like that kind of concept that every player has a role to play.
Yeah, it is pretty random who plays the Armageddon game. That's it. They draw the lots.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that, because you would expect that to be, okay, well, we'll just put the board ones. But no, it could be that it's the woman player on board too has to step up for their country.
Yes. So for this to happen, then we need to have Bulgaria winning this leg, the second round, and we can now, I think we can go and take a little cheeky look at some of the games, and we can
let's do that, Simon.
See how they're going. Okay, so Duda, the dude abides. Oh, do you like that film? Do you know the film I'm talking about?
I know the film you're talking about, but I didn't like the character.
You didn't like the character? Oh, he's meant to be the coolest character.
Too lazy for me.
He's too lazy. Okay, the dude abides, but he doesn't for Jovanka because he's too lazy. The dude doesn't abide. So, okay, but the Duda, he's certainly not a lazy player. He's very well prepared, and he's got into kind of a strange kind of King's Indian defence position here. It's all down to whether White's centre is strong or weak, really. I mean, generally, this should be a little bit better for White. The pawns, they're not going to become that weak, but Black will attack them with moves like c6 and e6 and try to break them down. So slightly better for White. It's quite provocative, Black's play here, because you're kind of saying, okay, come on, have the centre. I'm going to attack your centre. So it's like, you know, this hyper modern way of playing. But I would take White in these structures. I like having the space personally.
Yeah, I also like the space, but the thing that concerns me, I mean, this is just personal taste really, is I don't like seizing space so early in the game. I feel that there's a chance that you can perhaps overextend yourself, and Black's play tends to be pretty clear cut when you do this. So it's like, okay, you're going to go e6, and then we're going to open a line at the right time with e takes d5, and then we're going to carry on chipping away. But it seems to be preparation, and Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Jovanka, because I'm exactly the opposite. I like grabbing as much space as I can if I get a chance, you know. So I would always shove my pawns up there. I realize I might lose one, but I realize I'll hopefully get some counterplay. So I'm kind of the opposite. I love taking space,
Yeah.
you know, for that reason. And I guess it comes down to a lot to do with personal preference. A lot of chess
Yeah.
wins, in some ways, you know, they're both okay ways of playing. It depends what
It's
you
about
like doing.
control. That's the thing. You're prepared to lose a pawn. Meanwhile, I'm a little bit more hesitant about,
Yeah,
you know,
you
I
can have
love the little guy.
you can have my pawns. They're there to be sacrificed.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor little things.
Yeah.
Okay, now next board. What about going over to Radislav Wojtacek, and we have Emchev with the white pieces this time. So the advantage of the white pieces. This position fairly standard. It came from what I'd imagine a Queen's Indian.
Queen's
Let's
Indian, yes.
look at the moves very quickly, where Black doesn't make any weakening moves. So this is a position where Black, and it suits Radislav's style. He's a solid player, and in this position, well, it's just a very solid position. I mean, okay, White has the space advantage because White's pawns are making a bit of progress, but Black has no structural damage to his position. E5 is one idea that Black might try to play. White, on the other hand, often tries to go C5, but fairly balanced at the moment, probably.
Yeah, I would say it's fairly balanced. I mean, I would prefer White, but Black is very solid, has made no pawn weaknesses, as you point out. And of course, it's got control of the E4 square, which tends to be an important thing in the Queen's Indian defense. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on, I guess the position will depend on whether White can get C4, C5 in.
Yeah, this is the one pawn break you kind of watch out for. Or, like you mentioned, Jovanka, eventually E4, E5. There's a strategy that's very famous in this position. It might be worth pointing out to those watching when you have bishops like this. It's considered that the bishop in front of the king is a stronger piece because it's protected. It's a better piece guarding the king. The one on b7 is a slightly weaker bishop. So you wouldn't really want to move this knight and just give away the bishop on g2. This would be a positional error. Let's just say rook c8. You wouldn't want to go knight d2. I mean, it's not a terrible move, but you're losing your better bishop. So one thing that I know they used to do in the days of Karpov and players like this, they would play, okay, knight d7 play. They would play something like rook e1, rook d1, and it's quite long-winded, but I'm just going to play some rubbish moves to Black. Then you'd move the bishop, so you'd even move the bishop to somewhere like here, and eventually you'd move the knight, and eventually you'd try to go e4. This doesn't really work here so well, because it takes too long.
I've seen it more done when the black bishop goes to e4. You want to dislodge that bishop, but you don't really want to swap off bishops. So I've seen it done like bishop is on e4, and then so you go move the rook to d1, bishop f1, and then knight comes to d2 with tempo. So yeah, it's a solid type of position. I'm kind of curious as to, you know, I mean, it's quite interesting. Okay, f5.
Yay! At last, he's seen the light. He's got a Dutch in. I knew you would, Radislav. I knew you'd see the light. He's got the Dutch. He should have played it on move one. That was the biggest mistake he's made so far, but he has played it at last. And well, you have to stop e4, don't you? So
yeah, you have to stop e4.
You can't allow that to occur.
I think now we're probably going to see your plan.
Yeah, there's not any tactics here with some knight jump and coming to g6. They don't work. I was just thinking you could go here, bishop takes g2, knight g6. It doesn't work because of queen to which square? f7, something like
F7.
that. Yeah, and this is going to work out well for Black. Yeah. So f5. Will the knight even come back to come in here?
Yeah,
maybe.
Definitely. Well, I'm not quite sure because the knight on d7 stops c4, c5.
Yeah.
So I mean, perhaps the bishop will come to e4.
Yes. You can even play g5 here. This is not so stupid.
To have some fun there.
Yeah, play this. So fairly balanced. We'll move on to another game. Not too much has changed there. The next one we're going to look at is this encounter between
Nova against Sivka. So yeah, Bulgaria scored nearly all their points. Well, they scored all their points on the women's boards. So they really proved that they were superior there. Very balanced kind of position here. Just have to check. Hang on, there's an imbalance in material before I say that.
exchange sacrifice from white, by the looks of it. White has allowed, okay, let's just have a look, because it's weird how we got this position. Let's go through the opening moves. Another queen's, this is called the speckled. Speckled egg, is it? Speckled egg, I think it's called something like this.
Oh, wasn't it the Polish defense, or the Polish defense happens? That happens without the E6.
Yeah. It's kind of, when they push the b pawn like this, they do call it the Polish defense. I don't know what precise position, but okay.
Yeah, I think happens without the pawn on E.
Right. And let's go forwards. I want to see how white now, do you think that was a sacrifice or a blunder?
A blunder.
Could have been a sacrifice. Could have been, it'd be an amazing sacrifice.
No, I think it's a blunder. I think it just didn't enter her head that, you know, after bishop b7, that the bishop will probably develop to
could move again. Yeah.
To a6.
I mean, it's Topalov. He used to be famous for his exchange sacrifice. If Topalov had played this move, it would have always been a sacrifice. I always find when I blunder a pawn, you know, I always try to bluff it as a sacrifice. You've got to pretend you're sacrificing. You've got to look confident and be like, yeah, have my rook, take the rook. I've got all the light squares.
Yeah.
You got to try bluffing it.
No, there's a famous saying in chess that the higher the ego, the higher the elo. So
that's where I'm going wrong.
So you've always got to be confident, Simon, even though you might have made the worst move on the board.
I suppose there's a difference between being confident and having a big ego. I guess confidence and ego, they're very related, but they are
kind of go
different.
hand in hand, don't they? Because
but you can be confident and not having, you know, you can be proud of yourself but not have an ego. I think they're different things. I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have. I mean, for me, ego is just kind of being confident, really. I mean, right. I don't really associate ego with kind of going, "Oh, I'm the best in the world." It's just really okay. I believe in myself, and I think that I can win. And sometimes chess is about play acting. Actually, you know, you make a terrible move, and you just have to kind of, just pretend and go, "Yeah, that was part of the plan."
Right. So we're going to come back to this one. It's actually quite funny because looking at this position now, I know that it's probably a blunder, but I'm actually thinking if black's going bishop f8, it's got to be all right for white. Saying that, we're just going to take a very, very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll stay on this board. Or actually, I think we're not going to take a break. We'll keep going. Okay. And let's see how the game develops. c4. And now f5 happens because black was lacking some space. Bishop d3, bishop e7. If black gets castle, black should be on the way to winning, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So can we stop it? Can we stop it, Jovanka? Can we stop that castling?
Well, the thing is, though, bishop g5 really isn't that dangerous because you just move your queen back.
Yeah.
Knight g5 doesn't look great. I mean, you really need to be introducing new pieces into the attack, but once...
you can't go knight d2 because the knight takes c3. I mean, I'd like to play.
Yeah, I'd like to do that and then jump in with knight e4, but that's just not possible.
Just knight takes c3. I think this is just good for black, isn't it?
I think so too. I mean,
yeah,
it's very difficult to orchestrate a winning attack.
Maybe I'll have to try knight g5. I mean, there is the saying that when your position's bad anyway, your exchange down, you can take more risks. You can play in a greater way of freedom.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you take a risk and it backfires, you're probably going to lose anyway.
Exactly.
So maybe it's time to try knight g5.
Swindling mode here, I think, very much.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing about swindling is that I read David Smerdon's book on it, and he talks about using psychological tricks. Like if you notice your opponent likes to keep control, then you just go completely mad. You start attacking them like crazy. And he has things like that. So I would like to see the approach that black takes here, white takes. I think she'll have to go crazy, just sacrifice material and just bring all her pieces into the attack.
Yeah, so knight g5. I mean, what does black do after knight g5? Just out of interest, what would you do here? You've got to be a little bit careful. G6.
But do you have a threat? Obviously I know there's knight takes h7, but I was just thinking once your knight gets to e4, do you threaten something?
Am I threatening something? I'm hoping I'm just going to take on h7 here, yeah?
Yeah. So if I were to go g6.
Now, I can't take on h7, can I? I guess it's rubbish.
No,
I mean, I can go h4 and just keep punting. You know,
yeah.
I just throw them all at you. You know, like you say, it's got to be better for black, but white can have a go. He can have a crack. He can be like berserker mode. Here we come. Time to go to another game. We've looked at the top three.
Yes, definitely. Let's go see Antonetta Stefanova against Monica Sochko.
Very interesting positions in this match, I'm finding. They're positions which are quite unique. And this one looks good for white. This pawn on c6 is a big weakness. The white knight has ideas of coming to one of these two outposts in the position. I call these outposts because they can't be defended by any black pawns, so you can sit a piece on them. Mm-hmm. And there's a little bit of a development problem for Antonetta. So white has, though, decided to take there. This is probably involved with the idea of getting a knight into c5, is it? So knight b3, knight c5. So we're going for that outpost now. It's also a bit annoying if you throw the queen over to h5 at the right moment. You know, just slam it over there.
I completely agree. I mean...
Oh, okay. Does that work? I guess so. That's an interesting idea. Probably doesn't change much. Little tactical idea, taking on b2, taking, you know, forking the queen and the bishop, but might not change a great deal.
Yeah, I don't think it does change.
Maybe just move the bishop, move the queen, something like that. Okay, so it looks like white's doing well. We'll have a look at the last two boards now. So the next one we're moving on to now. You can see the names of the players there. And another weirdish position. I mean, I'm trying to look at the positions. It's quite late in the day, and I'm like, getting my mind's going, what's happening here?
What's happening here? Hang on, what happened? Did he play bishop c1?
He did. I think he wants to come to f4. This is the only...
Okay, but okay. Is there something happening now? Because I can just see some tactical issues. I'm thinking is d3 possible?
Certainly an idea. Let's have a look. d3, trying to cause problems to the knight and use the rook. So d3, you can't take with the bishop.
Because the bishop takes the knight. Thank you.
Which will simply win a piece. So you have to take the rook on d3.
Right.
And now
I have a bishop takes knight, don't I?
You do. And this is completely winning for black.
Yeah.
Because you can't take with a bishop because of the rook. If you take with a rook, you step into knight d4. Nice tactic, Jovanka. Nice tactic.
Yeah, I mean, what a...
Has he played it? Let's have a look. So bishop c1, this very slow move, and black now has the possibility to play d3. And I think d3 is it just even winning? Does it win on the spot, this move?
Well, I mean, you have to take it. I mean, it's quite easy to calculate. You have to take that pawn, otherwise your knight on f3 will drop off, and then so you can't
go bishop f1, can you? Just go bishop takes f3. You might as well get a pawn for your sins.
Exactly. So you might as well go rook takes.
And now you're just playing bishop takes f3, winning. So d3 is actually it's a very nice little tactic there. It's quite a picturesque tactic, but these guys should see that move. Yeah, they should see that move.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that d3 is a kind of a little bit tricky thing to spot because I don't think it's very tricky as black to spot it, but for white it is, because it's like how many times is it protected? It's protected by the bishop.
He's missed it.
Okay, so he's missed it.
He's missed it. You should be playing this game, Jovanka.
Yeah, but you know what they say: the spectator sees everything. You know, I don't have the emotional investment into the game, so I don't think about those things. For me, it's just okay. Well, why not play d3?
Yeah. I've had the situation like this before, Jovanka, where I've played rookie for. And after I played the move, I suddenly thought about the position and thought, hang on a minute, I could have played d3 winning a piece.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, and I completely collapsed because I'm like, I've missed the win in my brain. I'm kicking myself and I can't play well for the rest of the move. So I really hope for that Martin Petrov doesn't suddenly see he could have gone d3, because that would be a bit devastating mentally if he does. Okay, bishop f1 played. Can we still play d3 at some moment? I don't know. I really like d3. d3 might still be an
Well, the thing
idea.
is that I'm not quite sure it works now. So
no, not as strong, is it?
Yeah, there's definitely not as strong, which is the kind of the thing. This is one of the tendencies you have. You know, it's like if you spot d3 the first time, you don't spot it the first time, but then you kind of, as you're playing it, you realize you could have played d3, and then you try and make it work when it's not really the best move. But yeah, queen e7 I quite like.
It's a normal position now. I mean, it's probably roughly even. Black has this big d pawn, which he should have used, but White's got some trumps as well, this nice knight in b6. So it's suddenly going to be a long game now, I feel.
Yeah.
And the last board that we're just going to look at the current position. Remember, Bulgaria have to win this match because Poland won the first leg. The format of the competition, it's two games. And after those 2 games, this is the knockout stages, qualifier for the quarterfinal.
So game points don't matter at all. It's just the match points. So again, it's irrelevant whether you win 6-0 or you win 3.5, 2.5. It doesn't matter. It's just match points that count. So here it looks like you have to also remember that White, the player with the white pieces, of course, let a draw slip from a winning position, totally winning position. So there will be a lot of frustration from her side. Can she kind of reset herself to kind of focus on the game?
There's also some nasty tricks in this position. I mean, Black might want to consider playing bishop takes e3.
No, Simon, no, don't do it. No.
There is a nasty trick if you take that one. Obviously, White does not capture the bishop back, but flicks in the very delicate check. Always look for the checks. And this check is just picking up the queen, picking up the game. So bishop e3, the other idea that Black has it is just to play c3 and force that idea. There's even a problem with a knight on d7. So is Black actually in a lot of trouble here?
I think so. I think she is.
How do you,
like you say, I mean,
save the piece?
C3 is in the air.
Yeah.
There's also
maybe you have to move the queen, Jovanka, but if you can't move the queen too far, because
the knight's on prise.
Yeah. So
and if you move the queen to c7 or something, well, then you lose a pawn. You, you can play that as well. I was just thinking some kind of bishop takes bishop or knight takes bishop and just
win the pawn.
Yeah,
White's doing well.
White's doing very well. So it would be a really nice psychological comeback actually for Victoria, because of course, she had that.
Perpetual. She fell into the perpetual.
Yeah.
It was, oh dear, suffering. Yeah. Okay, so quick. I'm just going to go through every game so we can work out what we're thinking. Only going to take 5 seconds on each game. So the top game, quite even. So Radislav, not the top game, the second board, we're going to say still in the mix. Now, Duda's game is quite hard to assess like that, but probably a bit better for Duda. So Poland, slight favourites. Now, this one was looking good for Black, and we've had many more moves, as long as Black does not castle here, which would be a bit embarrassing. Black is the exchange up, and the many moves have been played. Black is the exchange up, basically, and White's punting.
That's that. It's just about controlling White's initiative, and if she can manage to kind of keep control, because White does have moves like h4, h5, just to mix things up. But as long as you can have an answer to that.
So that is Poland are looking a little bit better in one, a lot better here. So far, Poland. Now, this game is changed a bit. White is the exchange up, but Black is getting some punting chances with the pawns coming. I'd still say White's a lot better with the knight. So I think, again, Poland are doing very well.
Doing very well. And remember, Bulgaria needs to win. Okay, so...
Oh, tactics. tactics. Poland winning a nice pawn here as well. Poland, I think they're doing very well in this match.
No, so Poland are playing white here. I mean, so it depends. Is there a counter?
Oh, okay. Oh, hang on a minute. I can't count. Can I not count? Let's have a look. So how did this happen? I'm confused by this one. So we had all of a sudden, boom. I mean, and then boom, and what's happening here? I need some help.
The thing that worries me is that white has won a pawn, but we've kind of established in endgames is the kind of quality, not the quantity, and I'm just a little bit concerned that there is a knight e2 check, forking the king and the bishop.
So let's say the king moves, Jovanka. I don't know where. I put it on F8.
Yeah, just put it some random space. Yeah.
And now you play, for example, knight takes e4.
Yeah, and so now I have. Okay, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but I mean, it could be doing it via knight e2 or knight e4 first and then knight e2. But I want to go knight e2. I'm probably going to go knight takes. Yeah, I'm probably going to go.
You've even got knight c2. You know, you've got lots. You've got more knight c2.
Yeah, so my idea was to go knight e2.
So let's have a look.
And then knight takes c1.
And now I have to move my king. I can't afford to take this one. Let's try this move. And now
and knight takes c1.
And I have to take this at some moment.
Yeah. So and then knight takes knight.
Bishop takes.
And
bang. Okay.
Down. You know, just queens to do a little happy dance, and because I'm thinking that tactic looked like it was just a kind of, it wasn't quite deep enough.
Maybe a desperate tactic rather than a good tactic there.
Well, I think it was just one of those things that you can't help yourself. You see that it wins a pawn, but then you don't sit there and you don't actually assess the position and how dangerous this pawn is on d3. So I think black is winning that one.
So this is giving Bulgaria a bit of hope there. On the other four boards, it looks like Poland, if anything, was doing well. So if Bulgaria are going to have a chance, they need to win the last one. And the last one was this position that looked quite good for Bulgaria. So this is actually another very close match. And what happened here? So hang on a minute. This is nasty. So
yes, I spotted that one. There's e4, e5.
Yeah, and this is another.
So this is why she played king h8.
Excuse me.
Yeah, king h8, but then after knight takes bishop, she's just won a piece.
She's just won a piece because you go king.
E4, e5 is coming.
So you go here, and then this tactic, knight takes d4. Yeah, you can't do it because this is very nice tactic.
Yeah, e5. Boom! Give me a queen. Game over. Revenge.
Yeah. So white's going to win here. So who do you think is going to win the match then, Jovanka?
Okay, Bulgaria need to win, but
Bulgaria need to win
to get to go to Armageddon. Bulgaria need to win. It's a bit of an ask at the minute, isn't it? They're struggling on quite a few boards.
It's very close because I think they're winning the bottom two here.
They're winning 2 games.
Imagine if white doesn't win this game though. You know, she does it a second time. That'd be so demoralizing.
Yes.
And the times now, they're all getting under 5 minutes.
100%, you know, queen f5 is coming. Yeah,
well, it's good. Yeah, completely winning. Yeah, just come in, piece up, completely crushing.
Yeah.
The top boards. Okay, now we're going to go back to board 2, Radoslav's game. Both players have files to attack along. Which file is more important for the attack? Now, with Black's last move, there is an issue that white has. It's not just attacking e3, we're also attacking b5.
Yeah.
So is this actually just picking up a pawn? As simple as that?
It looks that way, actually. It looks...
Oh, and that's a big pawn in the middle of the board.
Well, I guess you could go, hang on a second, you could go after rook takes e3, just swap everything off and take on c7.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the white king here. The white king looks really exposed.
You're just going to have to...
There is a mate threat. There is a mate threat. So it might...
There is that, but you know, I have a hiding place on h3.
Do you? Okay, I'm going to go rook e2. You go and hide.
Now I go king f1 or something.
Okay, you're not going to venture out?
No, not yet. I'm waiting until your queen gets to...
Ah, clever. Okay. So I'll keep checking you.
Okay, now I go back. King to 2.
And now, if I go here, you're going to pop your head
Yeah,
to
I'm
h1.
gonna pop my king onto h3.
And it looks like there is a mate in 1. So black can't do anything, but I have this move.
Oh, hang on a second. Do you have some sneaky tricks?
I think I have more. Oh, okay. So you've got to come out here. Now, G5 is nearly
Not
mate,
possible.
but it's not possible. But I do have the amazing, the brilliant.
Go on.
I haven't seen it yet, hence why I'm talking.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought maybe there was one.
There might be a brilliant move here. Because that king, can I get that? I mean, there must be a brilliant move.
Yeah, because you just need to get G5 in, and that's
well, what
it.
about? I mean, I can go rook
Okay,
E5.
you just go rook E5, yeah.
And just stop your 1 threat, and I think the white king is in much more danger. You can't really go F4.
No, I
in
can't
these
go there
positions.
because after I think you can go Queen F3, right?
Yeah, threatening. Oh no, you take the rook, yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so I can't do that.
But I can. It's pretty I can. Can I just move the king? King G8. No.
No, because now you
G5.
give my king.
I know it's quite
G5, I go King H5, and I run to G6.
That's quite embarrassing. And suddenly black's getting mated, and I've lost a rook. Nice work, Simon. Nice work. Quite a crazy line there. And we've actually got Bick. Bick is suggesting a move. I know things are going badly wrong when Bick's suggesting moves. Hi, Bick. No, so hang on a bit. So what Queen E2 here? Oh, yes, Bick. Yes.
Okay, Queen
yes.
takes H2. Yes.
Bick, you are a genius that we all need in our lives.
Yes.
Threatening H2, checkmate, and G4.
It's simple when you see it. What's it when you know it or something? That catchphrase.
It's simple when you see it. Yeah, simple when you know it. Checkmate is simple when you see it. You just got to see it. I mean, I mean that's like one of the most obvious statements, isn't it? That someone will say, "Yeah, it's such a simple game," you know, when you see it. So this might happen. Unbelievably, King G2, and now Radislav is thinking about this. This could be an amazing little line.
This position has actually happened. Or?
Yeah, this has happened. This is
wow.
quite.
So okay, so we know the answer, Simon.
Well, okay, so I suppose you don't have to move your king here. You can play Queen to
Queen
F2.
To F2. Okay, yeah.
Which is the more sort of the safer option. But what if I go Queen D1 here, Jovanka, and try to go Rook E2, for example?
Yeah, but maybe I can still defend with Rook C2 or something.
Okay, but Rook C2 very passive.
Yeah, but you have to do what you have to do.
You have to do what you got to do.
Exactly, and it might be passive, but you do.
And Radislav's a little bit down on time. Now, this is a fascinating game, clearly.
Yeah.
I'd be very interested to see what White's going to play here. Will White poke the king out or defend with the queen? I think he probably has to defend with the queen.
I think he has to defend with the queen. It's a safer option. So, do we
top board though? Top board, Jovanka, is we have Duda, and Duda's opponent Alex Delchev is getting very short of time. 24 seconds. 24 seconds.
Yeah,
and getting attacked at the same time.
Yeah, the C6 pawn is just amazing.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. It's more than just the C6 pawn. It's also a pawn, 2 pawns up, right?
It's just winning for Duda. Duda is abiding.
He is.
The Duda is abiding. Yeah, this is just winning.
Yeah.
It's you're 2 pawns up and you're just winning. So not so interested in that one. Now, what about this game? Was just winning for black. Not much has changed there. Extra exchange. The Stefanova game, very interesting, Jovanka. I mean, it looked good for Monica Sokko, but Stefanova, has she turned it around? So we got to this position where white is the exchange up, but black suddenly gets some counterplay. And black, oh, hang on a minute, I'm pressing the wrong button. That's why they're playing funny moves. Black covering the king. And now coming forwards, and look at this. Boom!
Boom, rook takes h2. What a great move. Okay, is it so?
Well, you can't take it because of g3. That's clear.
Yeah, that's clear.
So knight e5, nice square for the knight, attacking
Yes.
f4, c5, trying to undermine that knight. Queen takes f4, and now rook back to h7 to stop any checks with this one. Rook c1. Complicated, very complicated position. Knight d7.
Played.
The whole point of Antonetta's strategy is to undermine the dart squares, because if you can release this diagonal, then black's going to be probably winning, because the dart square bishop's so strong. So everything is aimed now at getting rid of the knights on e5.
Yes. A difficult position.
Bloody complicated position. This
really, really complicated.
Really?
I mean,
yeah,
it's difficult to say what move to make as white, because I don't think knight takes knight is a threat. Actually, I think more c4 is. But
c4 might be a better idea, isn't it? But,
yeah, it might be a better idea, because then back it up with knight takes.
Yeah. Interesting position, but 30 seconds. This is where it's going to get very exciting.
Yeah.
30 seconds left. Okay, she's flicked in a check.
Okay, but after
and now rook g7, keeping the pressure on.
Okay, maybe she'll just. I think she'll just play queen h.
Well, she's going for the win with this move. Now knight to f6 takes the pressure away from the knight, but it looks also like a playable move.
Yeah.
Whose king is weakest? I mean, it looks to me at the moment the black king is having quite a lot of pieces lurking around it, but maybe it's okay.
Yeah, maybe. I think it is okay. I mean, the thing is, I noticed about Antoaneta Stefanova is that she's very materialistic. She will always take material if presented to her.
I think this is probably just going to be a draw because of the checks on e8 and h5. If black takes on e5, is there any way you can play for a win?
The thing is, Antoaneta needs to play for a win, right?
Well, we have a result. Board one. It's 1-0 to Poland so far. Does she need to play for a win? Because Bulgaria are winning on the bottom two boards.
Yes, I think so, but they've lost against.
I'm just having. Maybe she's having a
result. She will see the result.
Well, I don't think she does need to play for a win. A draw should win the match for Bulgaria, because Bulgaria winning on this board. Bulgaria should be.
Poland are winning on the Duda, although she won't know this. She will just see the results.
Yeah. But hang on a minute. This is totally changed around. This is totally changed.
There's been a turnaround, right?
Yeah, this is now game. I mean, this is the one where black was just the exchange up, and now white has got some massive attack against the black king. Wow. So this is.
And it's just queen h.
I think just queen h4. Right? Yeah, and she's played it.
Queen h4, and then
what a swindle.
Okay, so we might see it. We might see Armageddon then.
Third time of the day. I think it's very likely we're going to get Armageddon today.
Okay.
And you still got to finish this game off somehow.
Okay, so how do we finish this one off?
Maybe
there's no checks, so you can probably go rook.
This looks like a good way of doing it.
Yeah, rook h6. I mean, it's just quite nice to kind of take.
This is mate in 2 now.
No, yeah.
Just queen h6 mate.
Queen h6, and yep. Okay.
Right. So, what happened here? Oh my words. Okay, so Stefanova had a draw. Was that? Am I looking at the right game? But she got mated instead.
Okay.
So we had this position where Stefanova was thinking about what move to play, and had she played queen takes e5, which is threatening a lot of things, I think Monica would have had to go on check, check, draw. So instead, Antoaneta played queen c6, but now rook to b1, and all of a sudden, that black king is very exposed. Rook d7, queen e8 check, king g7, rook b8, giving back the exchange, but look at the poor king.
Yes, the poor king is...
And the poor king gets hunted down all the way to checkmate. That's unfortunate. Pushing too much for a win. Is that going to make a big difference?
Is that a key
Well, at the moment,
At
it's
the minute,
2-1
it's
to Bulgaria.
huh?
No, to Poland. 2-1 to Poland
2-1 to
so far.
Poland.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know that Duda was winning.
Well, that could have thrown it away from Bulgaria, because if Duda wins, even if the match is a drawn match, that means Poland goes through because they won the first leg. No Armageddon.
Exactly.
So I think the game that's most important is Duda's game. If Duda wins this position, Poland are going through.
Yeah, and this knight is trapped on H2.
Poor little guy. Poor little knight. That is a bad knight. Poland going through.
Yeah.
And it's been a tragedy, really, for the Bulgarians.
Bulgaria, they've been the victim of some unfortunate luck. You know, it's often said that, you know, chess, there's no luck, but there is things that your opponent doesn't play very well, or you lose on time in a drawn position, or, you know, 3-4 repetition. So there are some unlucky things. So yeah, here it's just completely.
Yeah. I mean, I think now it's becoming clear that the last qualifier of the day will be Poland, who are going to play against Azerbaijan tomorrow. This position, well, I mean, Black's now desperately trying to get the knight out, but you might be able to stop one pawn, but not two of them. I feel. So. And
it's also the right rook corner as well. Rook pawn.
That's true. It's covering by this bishop here. Yeah. Tragedy. It was Stefanova, could have drawn that one, which might have won the match, but you don't know. It's very hard when you're playing your short time to have a look at the other games. This is the
thing. Is that she would have seen that Poland were leading, and so she thought, okay, I need to win, and that's what influenced her.
I think that's what happened, doesn't it? She just thought, I've got to win because of what's happened on some of the other results. She hasn't had a chance. One more result's come through, and that result is a win for Bulgaria, which we expected. So there's only 2 games left, and the games we're going to look at were well. Let's update here now. This position.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was a turnaround. So we thought that Black was going to win this one.
Yeah, and now, something strange happened here as well. Well, you found some really nice I think you found 2 wins for Black in this game that the players that Martin didn't find, Jovanka.
Yes. What happens when you don't have any emotion about the game? You just look at the position and just go, okay, what about this?
So let me just see. I don't know if the board's frozen, but it is definitely Poland's going through. Poland with the white pieces. Well, I think they're going to be winning. Those pawns are too far advanced on the last 2 boards. And, well, that's confirmed it. Duda has won. It's Poland who are going through to the quarter-final in a very tough leg. Poland have got to play against Azerbaijan, and then they've got to play the winner of India versus Armenia if they want to win the whole thing. I think that's how it's working. This is the last game. King coming in here. Any stalemates? There it is. There's always a stalemate.
What about rook takes pawn?
Last punt. See if you see it, 50-50 shot. If you take there, it's literally flip of a coin.
Well, he might as well, right?
I mean, because if you take the king stalemate, there's your 50-50. You take with a pawn. Oh, hang on a minute.
But okay, well, you might have auto queen, Simon.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Auto queen. Yeah, I've seen that happen before. But instead, this is not getting much better.
No.
Those pawns are a little bit scary, and the time is.
It. So, yes, very sad result for Bulgaria.
So we can have a look. Yeah, sorry, Jovanka. I was going to say, well, we can update that soon. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
No, I was going to say the scores doesn't do the match justice, because I do feel that Bulgaria it was a very, very tense match. Bulgaria really should have won, even drawn the first leg, and then the second game. I mean, again, some key moments where I think simply knowing the results, knowing how the other games were going would have really helped them. Like, this is the difference between over the board stuff, because you might look at your game and go, well, yes, it's drawn, and then you look at your partner next to you and they're okay, well, they're winning. So you can make decisions based on that, but on the online side, you can't do anything.
Yeah, totally right. Yeah. And it's getting extremely exciting now. So we can have a look at the table, the knockout table, and see where everyone's positioned. Today's events are over. So the winners today, Armenia beat Greece. They're playing India.
Yep.
And Azerbaijan will be playing against Poland. Russia versus Hungary. You would have thought Russia will do very well in that one. And USA versus Ukraine. Now that could be the match of the day tomorrow because Ukraine beat China. They're on a high. It's getting, and then it's the semi-finals and final. By Sunday, Jovanka, we are going to have a winner of the
We are going to have a
Olympiad.
winner. Yeah, we are going to find out which country is the best online nation. Yeah, I mean, but what an amazing day, Simon. You know, first of all, we had that fantastic Armageddon between Hungary and Germany. I still can't get over it. You know, Hungary went through because of 0.03 of a second. Unbelievable. And then we have China getting knocked out by Ukraine. Absolutely fantastic things. Completely, for me, this was the biggest shock of all. I really expected China to be up there in the final. And
it's
Armenia,
pretty hard to bet against China, isn't it? Really hard, you know. So I agree. China knocked out, massive thing. And is this your first time? You mentioned your first time commentating online, Jovanka. You've been pretty amazing, yeah. I think everyone's got to agree with that. Is it your first time, or am I wrong?
It's my first time doing any form like online commentary. You know, I've done a few Twitch streams, and I've done some casual things with Sabrina, Shavanis, but no, this is like the first official kind of online commentary. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well done. So that, how have you enjoyed it? I don't say, it's been an absolute blooming disaster, Simon. I'll never work with you again. You can.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up, right?
Kind of sums it up.
It's just a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's been a long day, but you've made it a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, same with you, Jovanka. Thank you. It's a long day of commentary. We're back. Well, we might have an interview, by the way, coming up. So we don't go anywhere. We've got an interview with one of the winning team before we end the show. Tomorrow, quarterfinals. Saturday, semi-finals. Sunday, the final. So every day it's chess.
Can't wait.
And it's a lot of chess. And we're going to see which nation triumphs. But I feel we will take a break shortly and see if there's an interview. Just going to confirm that now. It's been a great day of chess though so far.
It's really surprising. I mean, absolutely riveting stuff. It's been a real pleasure and honor actually just to watch these games.
What about the schedule for tomorrow? Maybe we could see it because we did mention there are going to be another 3 days of it. Let's just put the schedule up there and have a look what's happening. So it's the 27th today. So the playoff stages. The 28th, it's the same start time the next couple of days. Is that right? Quarterfinal is, yes, same start time. Bit more of a break.
I have a confession to make, Simon. I'm not very good with time zones.
I'm awful with time zones. You're not the only one. I'm just looking at what it was today. I mean, if you tell me it's, I don't know, like 9 o'clock PDT, I'm like, what are you talking about? What does PDT mean? Where is that? I have no idea. No idea what you mean. So I barely know what time it is ever in England, and I never know what month it is or what day it is. It just kind of blends into one. Now the players, some of the stars that have been playing in this competition, we can have a look at them, and it really is attracting the best players in the world. And here you can just see these guys. It's such an honor to watch them. The likes of Ding Liren we saw today. We've got Duda playing. Aronian was on the interview. Wesley So will be on tomorrow. Grishchuk, the great Grishchuk, and Giri Rajabov. Do you have like a favorite top player, Jovanka? I'm sure most people in the chat have like a favorite player, and I'd be interested to know who your favorite player is.
I mean, I love his interviews and I love his commentary. It's Vishy Anand. He has an infectious passion for chess. You know, I don't know if any of you've seen his YouTube videos that he's done. It's just fantastic. So just on on those videos, he's become my favorite player. I mean, what a gentleman. And he has a lot of understanding of the game, a lot of charisma. And I also I like Levon Aronian. I mean, all these guys have amazing things. I mean, I like the aggression of Rajabov and again, Grishik. I remember when Grishik first appeared on the scene, you know, I was so excited that he played the French advanced variation. And then when I started looking at his games, I realized, okay, only Grishik can play like that. The rest of us can't copy. This guy is a genius.
He's a special character.
Yeah.
Special character. I mean, I like Grishik not just for his chess, but he's bloody. I love his sense of humor. It's very sort of dry. He's very witty, very funny. Talking about sense of humor, you've got Geary there, and I love the banter that Geary has with Magnus Carlsen. I always find that quite interesting. They're all very very witty guys at the top.
Yeah.
And you know, it's nice to have that little bit of drama. It looks like a lot of people in the chat are saying Anand and Aronian as well. Aronian was great on the interview earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, Anand's one of the greatest players of all time. Let's not forget he's been world champion multiple occasions. He's brought a massive boom to chess in India, and he's still playing at such a great level.
Yeah.
I say still, he's getting older. He is getting older, but he's still one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, what I liked about him is his humility. Actually, I mean, he's a confident guy and everything, and you know, considering he has legend status. But in these interviews he talked about his preparation for the World Championship matches, and he basically said that, you know, when he first played against, I can't remember, I'm being put on the spot, but when he prepared against Gelfand, they didn't even touch e4. They were like, okay, he's going to play d4. And so they were like, we're not even going to bother preparing for e4. And then against Topalov, Kramnik as well, they were like, okay, well, maybe someone would prepare e4, but then they forgot to prepare e4. And then when Kramnik revealed all his seconds, they were like, oh, these are all e4 specialists. And so they scrambled around and found the dragon variation. I mean, I just loved this interview. It was brilliant. And I'm really impressed by how great he is and how humble he is, as well as the fact that he's a fantastic player. And but I mean, the same goes for all these guys. These guys are just great chess players.
They're great. I mean, you're right, Becky. And one thing I like about Anand is he's a very humble and down-to-earth guy, and not all the top players are like that. As you said earlier, I mean, even if you look at world champions, you take a lot of the world champions. I'm not saying the current ones. I'm not naming any names, but some certainly. I think Magnus is not one of these guys, but some of the ones in previous, you know, it kind of. I was having a discussion. If you're a bit arrogant, as you were saying this, you have a big ego. You are. It does help your chess. You know, they are kind of related. The higher your arrogance level, maybe the higher chess player in the past. I'm not saying nowadays, but Vishy is a very, very humble chap. So we can, again, just look at these future matches one more time, I think, just to let you know. Tomorrow is another big day of chess, quarterfinals. Yeah. All the start times are around somewhere. It's pretty much the same as today. You can tune in to see it. Semi-finals, final. I mean, it's quite a big thing. Winning the Olympiad is one of the most. I mean, Aronian earlier said it was probably his best win ever, doing it with Armenia, and how special that meant. Winning it online, I'm going to be honest, probably not as good. I'll be honest, but it's still blooming good. It's the first time ever. So maybe it's the only time the Olympiad will be online. So actually, it's the only time you can win it online. So it's a big thing. It's a massive thing.
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. And the thing is, though, I can imagine that it's absolutely exhilarating to win it online, to win it over the board. But you do get this huge buzz from playing. Like when we beat Armenia, when we were playing in the top division, I'm not really kind of like an expression. When I win, I try to kind of suppress my emotion. But I did punch the air when we beat them, and I know that our team captain did as well. And everyone was like, "Yes!" And in a way that we would never have done that. I think on an over the board event.
Who was the English team captain?
Malcolm Payne.
Malcolm Payne. Okay, good to hear. Yeah, good on Malcolm Payne.
It was every single one of us. We were kind of like, whoa, you know.
You were like, oh, all punching the air. It's good to hear. Yeah.
So I think it's because you can do it in the privacy of your own home. In the tournament hall, you're not really gonna.
when you were punching the air, was that you had the camera on you? So could people see you
we had
punching?
the camera. I mean, that didn't stop us.
No,
This
good.
was
I sometimes find, again, like, we have experience playing competitions, and it's very disappointing to lose. And when someone starts openly celebrating when they beat you, it's a little bit disconcerting. You're like, if I beat someone, even though I'm very happy to win, I'll try to get around the corner before I get in there, son. I don't want to do it in their face. It seems like I'm kind of
that's because we're British, Simon.
Do you think it's because we're British? We're refrained. We don't want to. We want to keep our sense of calm.
Exactly. It's like we can't show that. We can't show this big emotion. We just have to go. Well done, well done, old chap.
Yeah. Well done, old boy. Well done, old boy. So yeah, I mean, there's 3 more days of this, and it's gonna, it's amazing that by Sunday we're literally gonna have a champion, a winner. Yeah. So it's coming up very quickly.
Tough lineup, I mean, looking at the pairings for the quarterfinals, it's.
Well, it's a real honor to have the champ Duda joining us over the victory that Poland pulled on Bulgaria. It seemed like it was going to be a very close match, Jan, and you got 2 very important victories there. Do you think it was, how do you feel about the victories in the match?
Yeah, hello everyone. I think the match was very tough. I think I was kind of lucky also to win both games, especially the last one when I think I played terribly at some point, and I think my opponent was clearly better with black. And somehow his position collapsed very, very easily. I don't know why, to be honest. And but then I couldn't win and I played terribly. I mean, I prolonged game for at least 20 moves, but I think that in general, I don't even know. I haven't seen all games of my teammates, but I think we were lucky to win the first match because I think that there was a freehold repetition when our girl had night down for free. So yeah, but overall, now it's also a tricky time for us because there is a Polish Extra League, and they played today, as well. So I mean,
it's a busy day. Busy day.
Yeah, it's a busy day, definitely.
Yeah, but you have now qualified for the quarterfinals of the Olympiad, which is a pretty big thing, and you're going to be playing against Azerbaijan tomorrow, so another busy day. But you have a chance now of winning the whole thing. I mean, I guess you're going to all give it a go, obviously. But how do you rate your chance?
Yeah, well, we have always had a chance, I mean, to win. Yeah, but it's not only now. I mean, but okay. To be honest, I don't think too much about it. Like, I don't even know who is playing in Azerbaijan on the first board. It's Amadyarov or Rajabov. I don't know. Either way, I think it will be a very interesting match tomorrow, and I hope we will do our best and win.
Yeah, good stuff. Good positive attitude.
Yeah.
And I've also seen you're a rising star in the chess world, and you're improving, being quite a young player still. You're playing in Norway, and can you talk about what kind of ambitions you have? I mean, world champion?
Yes, I will play in Norway indeed. Well, I don't know actually what to say. I mean, because the format of Altibox Norway is very specific, obviously, and and there is Armageddon after once the game ends in a draw. So, and the last time I have played Armageddon was, I believe, 12 years ago. So I'm like, this is really not my element. And but obviously I'm very happy I got invited there, and well, I will do my best. Obviously, it will be very difficult because Carson, Caruana, Aronian, Firouzja, they are all playing. So but I'm very excited to be invited there, and will do my best.
Well, it's going to be great to have an opportunity to play against these guys. I mean, that's the kind of competition you need, to get to the next level, I guess. So,
and also offline. I mean, it's something.
It's good. Good. Well, I don't know if Jovanka's got any questions. I know you're busy with the lots of online stuff as well, but
I just, of course, I was wondering, will you be celebrating tonight, or will you just simply take an early night and just relax?
No, I will just relax. I mean, okay, I don't know whether we were favorites or not, but I think that we hoped, I mean, to win this match. So tomorrow, I think when we win, if we win, then it would be much more like a bigger occasion to celebrate. Let's say like this. But I'm lucky actually that I'm not playing now in the Polish Extra League, but I will play in a couple of days from now. So but I mean, my teammates are in tricky spot now.
Okay, it is a tricky sport. Well, look, thank you so much, and well done on your 2 victories today. Massively helped the team. Good luck tomorrow. We'll look forward to watching you play then. And get some good rest. Yeah, so have a good sleep.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
okay.
You.
Well, this is the last time today that you're going to see all the ginger that you see at the moment. And there's plenty of it. 2 ginger English people here. It's been a long day of chess and or commentary. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I think it's been a fascinating day, chess, but it's only going to get better. We're back tomorrow, aren't we, Jovanka? I think at the same time with the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I think we're 90% sure that it's around about the same time, which is like 10 a.m. Central European time. So yeah, and of course, look at that lineup in the quarterfinals. India takes on Armenia. That, you know, Levon said it, anything can happen. He believes that Armenia will be able to defeat India. And then we have Azerbaijan against Poland. Again, very, very close match. And then we have Russia against Hungary. And of course, you mustn't forget that Hungary got through on 0.03 of a second. I mean, I still can't get over that fact. But Russia, of course, the clear favorites there. And then we have USA, Ukraine. Ukraine, of course, defeating China in that shock victory. I mean, can they do it again to knock out USA? Well, if they played like today, then of course.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. So I hope you all can join us tomorrow. Everyone is here. Yeah, it's an early start. We will be going on most of the days. I'm really looking forward to seeing Russia play. Probably Russia the most personally. I think, you know, when I think of chess, I think of Russia for some reason. But obviously America, I'm you know, and we're going to be back. So I'll leave you, Jovanka, to say the last words, and I'll say thank you to everyone who's here as well.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining in, tuning in, and for all the nice comments, or maybe not so nice comments, but it's been a lot of fun, absolutely thrilling chess. And yeah, hope to see you all tomorrow, same time.